In planning for our multi-month Can Am Spyder trip around the United States, we have a couple of things we need to flesh out before we go. Chief among them is food. When traveling, we have found that the second largest line item in our travel budget is our food budget. And we've also found there's a lot of things we can do to eat healthier, eat better, and to eat less expensive by using some basic principles that we try to employ. Now your strategy could be simple, and you could eat out at restaurants for every meal. Well, that causes your budget to inflate. Or you can eat fast food every meal and save some money, but that causes the waistline to expand and probably your blood pressure to go up also because of all the sodium. Now, we don't want to exclude eating out at restaurants completely because part of the travel is to enjoy what a region has to offer, to include its cuisine. So our strategy is going to be to have at least 50% and targeting around 2/3 of our meals that we prepare ourselves. So we're going to carry the equipment we need to prepare those meals, whether it be in a hotel room with only perhaps a microwave or just maybe a little camp stove to heat water, or in the Airbnbs we stay at with a full-fledged kitchen, or if we're on the side of the road having lunch, we will be able to prepare our own meals. So we're going to talk about what we're going to take, how we're going to prepare it, and what we're going to eat. The way we plan on transporting our food is pretty simple. Here in our trailer, we have it pretty much laid out the way we will travel on the big trip. The large container right in front of me is going to be basically our pantry. All the dry goods and shelf-stable foods will go in there. Next is the cooler, which we will put some fresh ice in on a daily basis and carry our perishables in. Now, not going to be carrying that many perishables, but going to have a few. So we're going to start, obviously, at breakfast. Well, the first thing we have to have is coffee, which brings the philosophical question, which came first, human consciousness or coffee? I suspect coffee came first. Now, we're going to carry some ground coffee. Not going to take a grinder, even though that would make fresher, better tasting coffee, but that's more equipment to carry, so we're going to carry ground coffee. Also going to carry some instant coffee packs in the event we're someplace where we just want to heat something up in the microwave and have a cup of coffee. Actually, this makes pretty good, fast, cold coffee, if you've ever tried that before. A little bit of powdered milk, a little bit of cream, a little bit of sweetener. It makes a nice little cup of coffee. Next, we're going to talk about things that we would actually cook. If we have a situation where we can actually prepare the meals, we're going to start off with some eggs and some breakfast sausage. Now, the breakfast sausage is the Jimmy Dean brand. It's pre-cooked. I like the flavor profile, and generally it stays in my refrigerator anyway, so we'll take that, and that will go in these things will go in the cooler. And some butter to fry the eggs in. Second, we will have some instant oatmeal and some pancake mix. This is complete. Just add water, put it in the frying pan. And Miriam likes smoothies for breakfast. I'm not sure how she can do that. If I had a smoothie within an hour, I'd be starved to death. But these are freeze-dried smoothie meals. Just add water, and you're good to go. And she gets these from a company named Leafside, and she orders them. So we're only going to carry a handful of these and work on restocking as we go down the road. Another handy item to have is the Mountain House brand breakfast skillet. I really like this product. We use it quite a bit. It's not too high in sodium, and all you got to do is add boiling water, wait about 10 minutes if you want to, Add a little Tabasco to bring it up a notch. And you have a complete breakfast. This serves two. I think the sticker price for this is about $11. So that's not too bad for a nice hot breakfast. We're just adding hot water. Also, I have discovered, it's beef jerky, but it's Jack Link's brand bacon. It is bacon for all practical sense. It tastes like bacon. It has the texture of bacon, and it's real bacon. It's already cooked. So shelf stable, and once you open the pack, of course, you're going to need to refrigerate it. But we're going to carry at least one of these packs with us on the trip. So, and also some flour tortillas. I like flour tortillas because if you carry sandwich bread has a tendency to mold. It takes up more space. It can get crushed. Flour tortillas have a very, very long shelf life, and they transport really easily, and they make a good side to your bacon and eggs, your oatmeal. If you just want to wrap them up in some bacon, that'd be good too. So that's pretty much our breakfast fare. So we can have this breakfast pretty much any place, whether we're in a remote cabin with very little facilities, perhaps just some running water, electricity is not really required, or if we have a full kitchen in an Airbnb, we're set. And now it's time for lunch. When we're traveling, we suspect that lunch will be probably the meal that we will eat out at restaurants the most. It's less expensive. We're traveling. We don't want to set up a kitchen someplace on the side of the road. So that just makes sense. And for dinner, we may have leftovers as either part of our dinner or the complete dinner. But if we're on the road traveling and we don't come across a restaurant we want to stop at, we want to buy to lunch, we have a few things that we have in mind that we will have for lunch. These are things that I really enjoy. Just open up a can of tuna fish. Got to make sure you carry a can opener with you in your kit. Pick up some little mayonnaise package from your grab and go at your convenience store. Mix them together, and I like to put some diced up olives in mine to give it a little extra zip. Then have a nice little tuna fish salad. You can make a wrap by wrapping it up in the flour tortillas. And, I have heard if you take these olives and you drench them in a high-quality gin and some dry vermouth, they make a fascinating beverage. I have no personal experience on that. That's what I've heard. Also, some nuts. I like cashews, so we'll probably have this, and perhaps we'll carry some cheese in the cooler also, some cheddar or Gruyere, something like that, a nice cheese to have to go along with our lunch, and like I said, the cereal bar to go with it. So that's pretty much lunch. And now for the big meal of the day, dinner. We're going to try to eat fresh when it comes to dinner as much as possible. Pick up some produce, salad fixings, some green vegetables, some meat, probably either beef, pork, chicken, and prepare those in our accommodations. But lacking that, we're going to carry a few of these items, so if we pull into a place, we're tired, we don't have any provisions, we can still have a nice meal. So we're going to start with, everything here is pretty much just heat and go. There's no real cooking required. So one of my favorites, and I actually learned this from watching another channel, the Motorcycle Travel Channel, Sterling, from down in Bisbee, Arizona, clued us in on this. I love Indian food to begin with. And this is Vindaloo. Vindaloo is a red pepper sauce, spicy mix. It's got a little kick to it. And you just heat it up, put it over the rice. The rice is pre-cooked, so all you got to do is just heat that up a little bit. And you have, and if you want to put some chicken in it to give it some protein, we like to carry the canned chicken, or you can prepare some fresh chicken if you have the ability to do that, and then maybe have a flour tortilla with that. Very satisfying indeed. Along the lines of spicy food, besides the other freeze-dried meals we will take with us, here again, I prefer Mountain House, only because they use real meat and it has a better flavor profile. But I also like Backpacker's Pantry when it comes to the Pad Thai. We learned about Pad Thai by watching one of the channels that we enjoy watching, The Adventures of A+K. They had this one evening. It is a kit. It is a Thai dinner. We enjoy Thai food, and this has got a little bit of a kick to it. You mix it up, and it's very flavorful, spicy and very satisfying. Makes for a nice dinner. Also, we have some products from Knorr, which is a complete meal mix. You add boiling water, heat it on the stove or your camp stove, or in a microwave if you are in a hotel and room and have that available. And then if you want to, add some chicken to it, some canned chicken, and you have another complete meal. Another item are these sauce packs. This one is by a company named Kevin's. Kevin makes low sugar items. It's not sugar free, but it's low sugar. I have a thing about these meal packs that are loaded with sodium and loaded with sugar. It's not healthy. This is a cilantro lime steak sauce. One of the ways you can prepare it is make a nice salad, grill up some steak, and put this over top of it, and maybe throw some potatoes in there on the side. And that makes a great little meal. Instead of actually doing baked potatoes when we're out and we want to starch or carbohydrate, really like the Idaho Baby Red. Anything from these small packages is good. This is a resealable package, and you can just keep it in your dry goods stash for your entire trip and use it as you need to. I've actually tried some of the discount freeze-dried mashed potatoes. Yeah. But the Idaho brand is pretty good. A little salt, maybe a little cream, a little powdered milk, kick it up a notch, a little salt and pepper, and you're good to go. And this will augment the fresh food that we will pick up along the way. Okay, the video can't be complete unless we talk about afternoon beverages and some desserts and some of the spices we carry. So, we'll start with the spices. We're going to carry with us some basil, some oregano, some red pepper flakes, and some garlic powder, and some olive oil. Don't have the olive oil in the kit yet. We're going to load that later, just so we can kick off some of our food up a notch if we need to. Dessert. I like a little something sweet before bedtime, after dinner. Sometimes I'll have a Nutri-Grain bar, which is the brand name of a little cereal bar that's fruit-filled. Pretty small, so not that many calories. Or are these cashew bars. A little something sweet to satisfy that sweet tooth before bedtime. And then Miriam and I we've gotten into a habit of having a cocktail. It's a very comfortable habit, by the way. And sometimes we'll have a martini, sometimes we'll have bourbon, but not every night. But when we do, we typically either have a martini or some, like I said, some bourbon. Now, bourbon or whiskey, bourbon is a whiskey, but not all whiskey's bourbon, has a unique connection with traveling. Back in the day, you had three choices of alcoholic beverage to take with you. You had whiskey, you had wine, and you had beer. The concept of pasteurizing beer to make it have a shelf life of more than 2 or 3 days had not yet caught on. By the way, Louis Pasteur, the first thing he pasteurized, according to legend, was beer, not milk. But history writers like to write these stories in a way that sounds more marketable. Anyway, I digress. Beer typically doesn't travel very well. Wine does not tolerate the constant jostling around and the heat and temperature extremes of travel. So the American frontiersmen and the immigrants who went west chose whiskey. It took up less space. It was much more shelf stable. But today, we enjoy it because of the overall flavor profile of a good bourbon. Now, this is just a sample of something we keep around the house. This is not what we're going to take with us. We hope to hit the bourbon country within the first 3 or 4 days of our trip. And we're going to spend a few days out there with some friends touring that region. While we're out there, we plan on taking stock of the available bourbons and getting a bottle for our actual trip further west. So there you go. These are just some ideas of things that we carry with us and some of the meals we will prepare as we go along. This is not a complete, absolute, in-depth inventory of everything we will carry. It will change, and hopefully it gives you some ideas for your traveling, how you can prepare some meals to save money, eat healthier, and enjoy your travels.